Had you ever heard of M-44 devices, cyanide bombs before any of this went on? Before that, any of this went down here in Pocatello?
No, I hadn't. I didn't know, not at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had them. I didn't know that they existed, and didn't know that we had them in our community.
Right.
So
then, how did you react initially when you heard of, Canyon Mansfield, the 14-year-old kid who kind of experienced one of these things?
Well, first of all, concern for the public of the community to start with, quite frankly, because we've got these bombs out there. I don't know where they are, and I don't know how much they've got them, how many are out there, which is an issue in itself. We don't know where they are, and I'm not confident we want everybody to know where they are. But I know they should be marked somehow, so that if you come across one, you know what it is. Personally, but at the end of the day, how did I react when I heard the news that the Mansfield's family had run into this problem? Obviously, concern for the young man and the dog. Their pet was, it's obviously deceased and not going to be with them any longer, which is always a concern for a family to have to deal with that.
Right. And then I think the next part of the saga, or kind of getting to where we're at today, is when you heard about the fact that, and it really surprised me, that these devices are primarily stored and manufactured here in Pocatello. What were your thoughts or your reactions there?
Well, first of all, safety is always a concern. Always a concern. So we've asked them to stop storing them here and stop manufacturing them here as well. And if they're going to do that, and the USDA is going to continue to use them, at least let's move them outside of the city limits so that we don't have to worry about the neighborhood and that kind of an issue. Because that's obviously a concern that I have. We're asking them to stop storing those bombs and things here. We're not asking them to stop their operations altogether. That's an important part of our community. And they're a good neighbor, quite frankly. They have allowed our first responders in to do different things and different drills, and so I'm not interested in them leaving by any means, but I am interested in them having the bombs, the cyanide bombs, be removed from our community.
Definitely. Then my final question is, in terms of the letter that was sent, it says that you said that this is clear, an imminent danger or, potential risk to the area. Why is preventing the storage and manufacturing of these devices in Pocatello city limits such an important thing?
Well, I think we just talked about that a little bit, quite frankly. Yeah. It's important for us to get them out of the community because they are it is in a populated area that I would much rather not have an explosion. And not that that's going to happen. I have all the confidence in the world that they're doing taking care of all the safety risks that are out there. I don't think that the USDA is going to, any explosions are going to happen, but if we can prevent that from happening, great. If we can prevent anything further from happening, that would be preferred.
Definitely.
And so I don't believe that they're going to have a problem in any way, shape, or form. They've been here for decades. We haven't had any issues there, and I don't have any reason to believe that we will have. But we have had one dog step on one, and we have a citizen that has some effects even today from this event. And if we can prevent that from happening again, that's important.
Right.
We're more than welcome to have them stay and continue to do the work that they're doing. Just remove the bombs.
For sure.
Would be appreciated, and that's really what I'm asking. We're not asking to leave the city by any means. In fact, I would fight to keep them here. Just remove those cyanide bombs out of our community.
Right.
And that would be my intent.
For sure. Do you think that there's, it's pretty cut and dry here. Do you think that there's anything that I missed or that you feel is really important that you'd like to say?
I don't think so. I think it's important that everybody knows that we're not asking the USDA to leave. We're asking them to do something different with that product that they have. They're an important group for the agricultural base that we have in our community, and we need to have them we still need that support here. We don't need those bombs.
Right. Definitely.
I
Cool.
think that's it.
Can you give me an idea what, where they place those bombs at all, or is it?
I have no idea where they place them. They're not supposed to place them in the city limits.
Mhm.
I don't think this was in the city limits, but it's close enough to make me
It's
nervous.
pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but other than that, I don't have any idea where they place them.
Okay.
Right.
And so, that's probably a safety issue to start with. They probably don't want somebody that shouldn't have them going and digging them up and hauling them somewhere that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Man,
so-
that one that the boy let off, that was pretty close to civilization.
It was
there.
pretty close. That's what. Yeah.
I
It
don't
was.
think that's my biggest problem is where it was.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and they threw we used gopher bombs, that were basically
Yeah.
the same thing.
Sure.
And you just threw them down a hole and covered the hole up, and they blew up. And,
Just smoke them out.
And you would go, and you'd go from there.
yeah.
I don't think there's a major danger, but when you have enough of them, or you have an incident like this, it's a concern. And it was awfully close to the city limits, is what our biggest concern is.
Did it bother you, or did it make you kind of more apprehensive? The fact that and we're still the sheriff's office is still in the process of investigating, but he's confirmed that there wasn't any warning signs or proper notification beforehand. I mean, does any of the events that were, I guess, protocols that weren't necessarily followed or violated when placing those devices, did that make you nervous or apprehensive, or kind of spur this a little bit more? I mean, was it anything involved with the actual incident that kind of...
You know what, I haven't really followed that, what the investigation. I haven't followed any of that. I'm sure the sheriff's office will do a great job, and they will come up with the determination that they come up with. So I haven't really followed that. My main concern was we have a citizen that has been affected by them, and I don't want that to happen to any other citizens.
Right.
And so, if removing them and doing having a different way of approaching a coyote problem is there, then let's look at that before we hurt another citizen in this way.
And then, so that I understand, I read the letter that you wrote. You requested that they provide some sort of response in a certain amount of time. Do you have any idea when that time frame is? There like a minimum or mandatory amount of time they have to respond, or?
I don't think we asked for a response within a time frame.
Okay.
I think that we just asked them to just cease and desist manufacturing and storing those cyanide bombs in our community.
Gotcha.
I'm sure that they will respond, and I'm sure they will respond in a timely fashion, and we'll see what that response is. And I think it's important for us to get that on record. Now, will they do anything with it? I don't know.
Right.
They may say, pound sand, that's what we're going to do, and that's that. And by all rights, they can. This was more of a courtesy. Please remove those and get those out of our community, because I think it does create a problem and does create a dangerous hazard for our community. But at the end of the day, it's not against the law for them to do that. It's not against the zoning ordinances for them to be where they are. It's just more of a courtesy. Look, please remove them.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll get a response from them, and after that response is there, then we'll see what happens from that point. But really, our hands are tied. All we can do is write a letter and request it.
Right.
At this point.